Hobbs Kessler going pro. Makes sense, right? You got to do it. You track salaries don't come around that often. Track pro careers don't grow on trees. You got to do what you got to do. I did. It's cool that he's still going to go to NAU, which makes sense. He's going to probably train in Flagstaff during the fall. I did hear that maybe he'll be like a student manager on the NAU cross country team. Be kind of wild. See him still get to wear the NAU gear, but just not get to run with them. Maybe he still goes on the long runs together, but maybe he'll still win an NCAA title. He'll just do it as the team manager, which I guess, does that still count? I think that still counts, right? He'll be in the photo.
Pretty overqualified team manager, if you ask me. I think the key part here is staying with the same coach, because of all the improvements he's had, you think, well, why do you want to change that? And his training group and his coach are seasoned. They're veterans. They know what they're doing. So he'll be able to do that by going pro. He's going to go to Flagstaff, but for the fall, I read in the Track and Field News article, but still be coached by Ron Warhurst, and then he'd be back in the spring and summer. So it gives him a time to go to altitude, experience college, lay down some good base training for next season, but still remain in that same setup. Because as we mentioned before, he had a different setup than the majority of even elite high schoolers have in terms of training some with Nick Willis and Mason Furlick, and having a coach like Warhurst that's been around the block and knows how to coach milers specifically. So not a surprise at all. When you run 334 and you're a high school senior, there's really only one path forward.
For those wondering, the last time Casey Klinger beat Connor Mance was in 2015 at the Utah State Track and Field Championships in both the 1600 and the 800.
Hold up. Did you text Isaac Wood?
And it was, I know, I'm looking at it, mile split, comparing profiles. The last time Casey Klinger beat Connor Mance was 2015. That's 6 years ago. It was close too, 413.3 to 413.6, 157.8 to 158.2. And now we saw finally Casey Klinger. He's had to wait 6 more years to get him at the Olympic trials here in the 5K prelims. Sorry, I've been trying to find the matchup, the stats there. So I'm really happy about
Terrific.
it. Anyway.
Terrific.
There you go. You bring it up. See, look.
Fing Mo. Can we talk about a Fing Mo now? Or do you want to talk about more Klinger versus Mance head-to-heads?
I mean, give the people what they want, right? They want to know about the two BYU kids going at it.
Look,
anyway, so
a Thing Mo. I'm talking about a Thing Mo, because just as it's obvious that if you run 334 as a high school senior, if you run 157 and 49 and change and break collegiate records in the 400 and 800 as a freshman, you're probably going to go pro. And that's what happened to Thing Mo. Signed with Nike. She wore the Nike jersey in the first round of the 800. Going to stay in College Station. Again, continuity with the coaching. That's a theme that we've been seeing. I'm assuming you are not surprised in the least by this, Gordon.
No, but you know who is surprised? Bianca Knight, former A&M athlete, who tweeted at me, or at the people. I was trying to find a tweet where she was so certain that people who go to A&M don't go pro early. And then everyone tweeted at her like, Shamira Little quote tweeted her like, I did that. I tweeted at her, Donovan Brazier. She was confident that no one from A&M goes pro early.
She went to Texas, not Texas A&M.
Oh, she go to Texas? Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, she seemed so certain. I thought she went to A&M. I don't know. Anyway, I thought it was not to.
Again, your takeaways on some of these big news stories are just really unique. You're really going in a different direction than everybody else.
I'm sorry. I mean, what are we supposed to say? The fastest runner that we've seen in almost a generation is now getting paid to run. It makes sense, you know. Oh yeah, here's the tweet. I'm going to read it out loud for people listening. Bianca Knight on June 10th. LOL. They clearly do not know that A&M lets you know out of the gate you run in there all 4 years, playa. I'll be very shocked if that changes. Of what she runs. Then I responded with just a picture of Donovan Brazier.
Which
What?
this is the best Brazier picture. The Brazier doing the Jordan shrug. I think
Yeah.
of any of the Brazier catalog, I think this is the best one. That is a iconic photo. It needed. I wish it happened in a bigger stage, so more people saw it, more people were exposed to it. Yes, yeah. Obviously, you're not surprised. I guess you were just wondering where is she going to end up training,
Yeah.
and how will that change? And I think they've managed the workload for her this year perfectly, and I think she's improved, and she looks like she's still having fun, and she's keeping it varied between the 4 and the 8, and I think that's exactly what you'd want to get out of her freshman campaign. And so it makes sense that she'd continue with those same coaches there in College Station. All right,
Can I ask you
Wayne
an off?
Kaladi.
Can I ask you a question that
We
maybe?
gotta hurry up. We gotta go.
Okay. You look at this post, right? Is it interesting? I mean, Allison Felix did a whole thing about like against Nike when she left. Is it weird when Allison Felix like congratulates someone for going to Nike, or are they able to look past the transgressions that Nike did to her? Right?
I,
Isn't that kind of
I, no, I think. Well, I think she understands the big role that Nike plays in the sport, and I think Allison Felix is also they're trying to change it to make it better. So later on down the line, some of these athletes who choose to start a family will have more protections than Felix did. I mean, Wes Felix is going to be her agent, so I think they
yeah,
have eyes wide open here. I don't. Felix has been around. She's incredibly smart. I think she knows exactly what the landscape is. I don't think she thinks, oh, Nike's just going to disappear all of a sudden. I think it's how do you
yeah, that's
make
true.
it work individually for you, and how do you change the biggest company? Just because she's not with them anymore, I don't think she thinks her company is going to sign every single athlete out there. I think she knows that Nike's going to continue to be a big part of track and field. All right, can we talk about Wayne Kalai?